This is very thoughtful, what the church is doing to honor Kelly and I. We really appreciate it. But for me, I feel like super even uncomfortable. And it's not just the uncomfortability about having some attention to yourself that you know everybody else is trying to live the same kind of life. It's uncomfortable because I feel so unworthy. I've really sinned terribly in my life. I've sinned as a leader in the church with some very bad impurity to the point where I had to be taken out of the ministry, deeply hurt my family. Have hurt terribly Kelly through the years after I had to get out of the ministry. Went into a 10-year kind of business career, flying all over the country, making money, unspiritual, and had an affair, unfaithful, and broke Kelly's heart and disappointed my own children. I mean, it's really tough when I think over my life. I was so nervous, afraid. I didn't want to hurt her. And I started off, I said, sweetheart, there's something I have to tell you that I never told you. And she sprang up. I was ready for it. That's it. But she came toward me and she got on her knees and she grabbed my hand and said, stop, Tom. I don't need to hear anything. I love you. I believe in you. And I understood, like more than ever before, God's grace to be forgiven when you don't deserve it. We actually had one of the worst marriages in the entire churches and now have one of the best, right? I really think you got to be louder, honey, or they're not going to not be sure that. Solid! No matter what you're going through life, no matter what you're experiencing, God's grace can move in your life and really change you. And you just got to never forget the stories in our own lives, what we read in the Bible. And remember, even the great people in the Bible experienced the same kind of stuff. Noah was a drunk. Abraham was too old. Jacob was a liar. Joseph was abused terribly. Moses couldn't talk. Gideon was afraid. Samson had long hair and was a womanizer. Jeremiah was too young. David had an affair also, and he actually was, in effect, a murderer. Elijah, an emotional basket case. Naomi was a defenseless widow. Job went bankrupt. John the Baptist ate bugs. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, if you remember. All the apostles fell asleep on Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. The Samaritan woman was divorced several times. Rahab was a prostitute. Martha worried about everything, and Mary Magdalene was demon-possessed. Zacchaeus was too small. Paul was too obnoxious and unrelatable. Timothy had an ulcer, and Lazarus was dead. But one thing they all had in common. For them, the best was yet to come. It wasn't always immediate. It had some ups and downs and challenges. But God's grace made it all come together.